The greatest battles are not fought on battlefields, but inside the human mind. And only those who discipline their mind can truly conquer life. Today, I will tell you a story of a young man who learned to discipline his mind. Arjun was a boy of restless energy and boundless dreams. He grew up in a modest town where life was simple. Small shops on the corners, children running barefoot in the dusty lanes, the sound of temple bells echoing at dawn. But inside Arjun's heart lived a fire. He wanted more. He wanted to rise above, to achieve something great, to make his family proud. He often told his friends, "One day, I'll stand before thousands of people and they'll know my name." His eyes would shine as he spoke, but his friends would laugh. "Arjun, you can't even stay focused for 10 minutes. How will you achieve such big dreams?" And they were right. Arjun's problem was not lack of talent, nor lack of opportunity. His real enemy was his own undisciplined mind. When exams came, Arjun always promised, "I'll study tomorrow." But tomorrow became next week, and next week became failure. His father would scold him, his teachers would shake their heads, but Arjun would keep slipping. He was quick to start things, reading books, practicing sports, even learning guitar, but he never finished them. He would get excited, burn with energy for a few days, then leave everything halfway. His life was filled with incomplete beginnings and broken promises. One evening, after Arjun returned home with yet another poor report card, his father sat him down. His father was a man of few words, but his voice carried weight. "Arjun," he said, looking straight into his son's eyes, "do you know why you keep failing?" Arjun hesitated. Shame filled his chest. "Because I am unlucky," he whispered. His father shook his head. "No, my son. You fail because your mind is like a wild horse. It runs in every direction. Until you learn to control it, until you discipline it, you will never reach your destination. Dreams are not enough. Without discipline, dreams remain nothing but illusions." The words pierced Arjun's heart. That night, lying awake in bed, he whispered to himself, "Maybe Father is right. Maybe my biggest enemy is not the world, but my own wandering mind." The next morning, with new determination, Arjun awoke before sunrise. He made his bed neatly, cleaned his desk, and sat down with his books. But within minutes, his mind began to wander. He thought about cricket, about food, about friends. His body sat in one place, but his mind ran in 100 directions. Frustrated, he slapped the book shut and muttered, "I can't do this. Discipline is impossible." Days passed. Sometimes he woke early, sometimes he didn't. Sometimes he studied, sometimes he wasted hours on distractions. The cycle continued. Every failure deepened his self-doubt. One evening, as the sun melted into the horizon and the sky turned orange, Arjun wandered through the streets aimlessly. He felt lost, broken, defeated. That's when he saw him, an old man with kind eyes sitting outside a small tea shop, sipping slowly from a clay cup. There was something calm, almost magnetic about the man. Noticing Arjun's troubled face, the old man asked, "What weighs on your heart, young boy?" Arjun, desperate to pour out his pain, sat beside him and spoke. He told him everything: his failures, his distractions, his father's words, his inability to stay disciplined. His voice trembled as he said, "I want to succeed, but I cannot control my mind. It always slips away." The old man listened quietly, then placed his cup down. His voice was gentle but firm. "Meet me here tomorrow before sunrise. I will show you something." Curiosity stirred in Arjun. He nodded. The next morning, the town was still asleep when Arjun met the old man. The air was cool, and the faint light of dawn stretched across the fields. The old man handed Arjun a clay pot filled with water. He said, "Carry this pot across the field without spilling a drop." Arjun thought it would be simple, but as he walked, the stones and uneven ground made the water shake. By the time he reached the other side, half the pot was empty. The old man said nothing. He only smiled and said, "Tomorrow, try again." The next day, Arjun walked more carefully. He placed each step with focus, his eyes fixed on the pot. This time, only a little water spilled. On the third day, Arjun gave his entire attention to the pot. Every breath, every step, every thought was devoted to keeping it steady. And when he reached the end, the pot was still full. He looked at the old man with pride. The old man asked, "What changed from the first day to the third?" Arjun replied eagerly, "On the first day, I was distracted. I looked at the trees, the birds, the ground. On the second day, I was more careful. But on the third day, I gave all my focus only to the pot. That's why I succeeded." The old man's eyes sparkled. Exactly. Life is the same. Your dreams are the pot of water. If your mind wanders everywhere, you will lose them. If you half focus, you will achieve only half your goal. But if you give your complete attention, disciplining your mind, nothing will spill, nothing will be lost. Arjun stood frozen. In that moment, the truth hit him like lightning. Discipline was not about being perfect. It was about focus. It was about returning your mind again and again to what mattered most. From that day forward, Arjun trained his mind like a warrior trains his sword. He began with small acts, waking up at the same time daily, completing every task he started, keeping promises to himself. When distractions came, he reminded himself, "The pot of water, don't spill it." It wasn't easy. Many days he stumbled, many nights he wanted to quit, but each time he pulled himself back, steadying his mind like the pot. Slowly, discipline became his nature. Months passed. His grades improved. His father noticed the change in his eyes. The restless boy was transforming into a focused young man. Years later, Arjun stood on a grand stage, receiving an award for excellence in his career. Applause thundered around him. Cameras flashed, and in the audience, his father sat with tears of pride. Arjun smiled, remembering the pot of water, the old man's words, and the lesson that changed his life. Discipline your mind, and success will follow. And now, my friend, I ask you, how steady is your pot of water? Are you spilling your dreams on distractions, or are you holding them steady with focus and discipline? Because here is the truth. Success is not about luck. It is not about talent. It is about consistency. It is about what you do every single day, not once in a while. A disciplined mind creates a disciplined life, and a disciplined life creates success. So remember this, discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Build that bridge step by step every day.